Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah and this is B.fleye Beauty, and today I wanted to take you through kind of a very romantic look, kind of a very, Anyway, this would be great for Valentine's Day. This would be great for a date, a night out, just something romantic and glowy, but not the traditional red lip, winged liner, lots of glitter, things like that. So I have a bare face. I'll start with my little headband, and then I'm probably going to zoom you guys in just a little bit. So I would recommend doing some sort of moisturizing mask, or if you are a little bit more oily, maybe even a little acid situation, and then moisturize really well so that you have a nice, clean, smooth base. So I'm going to do my typical prep. Little toning spray, SPF. I have been using the CeraVe Ultralight Moisturizing Lotion, which I talked about in my favorites from 2019. And then I am going to use something I've been using lately to see if I like it. It's harder to see if like shimmering bases work because I'm so oily, but we're gonna try it. I think I really like it so far if I'm taking a picture and it's something that's staying on for not a really long time. Like, I don't think it's good for me for like an 8-hour day, 12-hour day, 16-hour day. All right, so I'm gonna let that sit for just a little bit and then I'm gonna zoom you in. Okay, hopefully you can see my whole face. So all I have is my moisturizer on. What I've been using is the Rodial Illuminating Ultimate Glow Primer. Now, I don't really believe in primers, but I do believe in prepping the skin, and moisturizers work really well. This really kind of feels like a glowy moisturizer. If you have oily skin, you don't want to use too much, so I'm going to use just a couple of drops of this. Again, it's not really good for long wear for me. It's more of a temporary glow because lots of things break down on my skin. I have to be really careful how I prep. All right, so you can see a little bit more of a glow and there's really, really pretty. I'm going to use my go-to CC cream. I think that when you're doing a more glowy romantic look, it's better to not get a very full coverage, thick base, because we're not doing this to take a picture. We're doing this to go out and celebrate. And so I'm going to do not a full pump. A full pump of this can get a little cakey on me, and I'm actually going to use my finger to put this on the skin so that I get the full amount. Even if I'm using a brush, the brush tends to soak a little bit in, and sponges definitely soak a little bit in. So I'm just gonna dot this. And for a more sheer coverage, you do wanna use like a moisturized sponge, meaning a wet sponge. Squeeze out the excess, and then kind of tap it over the skin, and then you'll get more of a, I was gonna say a relaxed coverage. All right, so I'm gonna take my favorite foundation brush. You get the idea. Sheer coverage, covering up just discoloration in general. And then I am gonna go in with my Bye Bye Under Eye Illuminating Concealer. The trick to this, which took me forever to figure out, is use the tiniest bit, but warm the crap out of it. Like, you really gotta warm it up. And then I'm only gonna go, so a trick for if you have more mature skin, more wrinkliness, is to start at the corner here, press that, and whatever's left over, tap out, but don't actually put concealer at all on the outer corner. So I'm gonna take my brush here and use the excess and pull it. And then I'm actually not gonna put much concealer on the lid, which I would normally do because I don't wear shadow, but I'm gonna use shadow for this look today. So I don't wanna put too many layers on my lids because they're oily and it's so easy for the products to break down. So I didn't actually tap any product on the outer corner. So same thing here, right? I'm gonna press this in, take a little bit of the excess, but I'm not putting any right here. I don't know why I point with this finger. Why is that? And again, I'm not putting concealer on my lids. Now, if you have drier lids, you might be able to have that work. It just does not work for my skin. I have more mature skin, I have very oily skin, and I do have a little bit of wrinklage. And then any excess, I'm gonna take and press this. I get extra redness right under my nose. Now, I'm not actually going to powder yet, because if there are any mistakes, I don't want to have to deal with something that's already set with powder. I'm actually going to continue on with skin and use something new, which is the Maybelline Cheek Heat. And I think that these are a little bit of a dupe for the Glossier, what are they called? The Glossier blushes. What? Gel. Oh, I'm going to have to put the thing up there. I don't remember. So I've been testing this. I love what it looks like initially, and it does stay pretty good. But again, things break down so easily. I would like to know if you guys have tried this. People with more dry skin or more normal to dry skin, and if it stays on you. So it is super sheer, and that's kind of the look we're going for. I know I normally love like a really heavy blush or heavy colored pigmented blush, but we're gonna go with a more lit from within. And we're not really gonna use many powders, even though I'm oily. So I will set some places on my skin at the end, but right now, in case there are mistakes, we're gonna keep it light and keep it creamy. And anytime you use cream, it is better to use a little bit at a time, build it up. I mean, that's kind of for any product. It's better to go in light-handed and build. And I'm using a brush that I used to use for my concealer. This is the Real Techniques setting brush. And I like to use this for blending in cream products. So I like this because it doesn't set immediately, and you can really blend it in, and it's not so pigmented that wherever you put it, you're stuck. Okay, so I think this is good for now, and after we do shadow, we can come back to that and see if we need a little bit more blush. I am going to take a cream highlighter by Natasha Denona. I'm using my contour palette, but really any of a cream highlighter, and so I am tapping that in, and I'm going to start kind of at the middle of the eye, and I'm just going to tap that around onto my cheekbone. Again, sticking with creams really gives you more of a natural glow rather than a powdery set finish. And again, nothing wrong with that powdery look, just going for something a little different on this one. And so many of these you can really just get away with using your finger. And I like to bring this around that bone. So the skin is really natural, really bright. I am going to do my typical inner corner highlight. I just can't stay away from this. My CoverGirl in Champagne, my single shadow, and I actually use the little applicator that comes in it. I don't think I can do any sort of look without this. It just does not feel right. Okay, my go-to eyeshadow primer right now is the Photo Focus by Wet n Wild. If you have something else that you love and it works, great. Even when I use an eyeshadow primer, it still doesn't stay all day for me. So, all right, tapping this from the lash line to the brow. So I'm using a finger that I use to put the blush on with, and there's not really pink on my eyelid, so it does stain pretty good, which is good because you want that to stay on your cheek, but it does come off, you know, like when you wash your face. Okay, so I recommend doing some sort of neutral taupe with maybe a tiny bit of shimmer. Today I'm going to use, I have a few of these, so I'm just using my small one. This is the Makeup Forever Artist Shadow in 6P01. This is a cool tone taupe. I don't know if you can see. It even has maybe a little bit of a purpley hint of a purple. If you want to go more warm, that's fine, but I wouldn't go too warm because I want it to kind of stay in like a pinky gold realm. So I am going to top this. So this can be either a 1 or 2 shadow look, and I am tapping it, the first color on with my finger. And this can be more of a brown neutral. This can be more of a pink if you want just something more light, not super smoky. We're keeping it all very light. Then I'm going to take a big fluffy brush, something kind of like this, and I'm just going to buff the edges and kind of use that to blend up and into my crease. And because I have hooded lids, it's going to go above my crease just a little bit. So this is almost like a kind of all same color kind of look. Monochrome. I'm already getting sweaty. So nothing fancy there. I am going to use, let's see, I think I can use this brush. I'm going to use either a liner brush, an eyebrow brush. I'm going to tap this in, and this is going to be my eyeliner at the bottom with that same color. And this is why I am not, every time I say this is why, I want to sing This Is Why I'm Hot. This is why I'm not setting under the eye, because if there is some sort of mistake, I can clean it up and then powder at the very end. You can also just do your eyes first if you'd rather do that. Okay. Then on top, you could either do a little bit of a gold right there in the center, and not like a super yellow gold, more like a pinky gold, like a rose gold. I'm going to use an old school color, Midnight Cowboy by Urban Decay. I bought this, I repurchased this recently. And again, going in with my finger. It's a pinky color, and I'm going to put this right in the center. And above my crease, again, I have such a hooded lid. And then I'm going to take that fluffy brush and blend it in. So I am using kind of a spotlight idea here without doing it in a technical cut crease kind of way. You can also just take if you have more dry skin and less oily eyelids, you can take a cream eyeshadow stick, eyeshadow pot, and just do that over the whole. You can still just do a one shadow look. You could even do like a cream shadow all over, and then take whatever you use for your highlighter here and tap that right in the center. I'm just gonna take one of these dark browns in here, and I'm gonna squish this. I'm gonna take that same liner that I used underneath my lower lash line, and I'm just going to rub that into one of my dark shadows, tap off the excess, and I'm gonna tap this into my lash line. So this is less about creating an eyeliner and more about filling in the gaps before you put on mascara. So least amount of work here, least amount of technical work especially. You're just pressing this here at the base of the lash. I'm gonna go in, because I'm not using falsies, I'm gonna do a lot of mascara, so I'm gonna do this in fast motion. Okay, so I just did my mascara. I'm gonna let that sit. I'm gonna comb out any clumpy clumps, clean up underneath, and then while that is working, I'm going to do a little lipstick. And I think this is more of a pinky nude situation. I'm gonna mix a couple things. You can also do a lip liner first if you'd like. You can do a matte liquid lipstick. I'm gonna do something a little bit more juicy. I tend to wear a lot of matte lipstick, so I wanted to do something a little different. Okay, so I went with something more of a warm nude pink. This is in particular Laura Geller Love Me Do lip crayon. Sheer. This is and I do have like another nude underneath that. Well, I don't think we need any more blush. I will insert a picture. Hopefully you can see what it looks like in different lighting. Took my glasses off and I did the same look again. And I'm in the regular natural light. It's daytime. So you can see part of the skin through the foundation, and there's nothing very technical. There's no strong lines. It's very soft, it's very lived in, looks very good close up, very natural, lit from within. Anyway, I think that's it. I'm gonna insert a picture if I haven't already. And thanks a lot for watching, guys. See you next time. Bye.